While we move on to superintendent's recommendations and reports. So, Mr. Smith, if you'd like to take it from there?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Birdie. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Martin to cover the items listed under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Birding, members of the board, I have several items for your consideration this evening under Personnel Professional. Item number 1, unpaid leaves of absence, letters A and B. Item number 2, employment, letter A is home instructors for the current school year, and letter B is substitute teachers for the current school year. That concludes the items I have for your consideration under Personnel Professional.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. At this time, I will entertain a motion to accept the recommendations.
So moved.
Second?
Any questions or comments? Mrs. Lamb, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mr. Birding?
Yes, motion passes.
This time, I'd like to ask Mr. Penny to cover the items listed under Personnel Support.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Birding, members of the board, I have the following items for your consideration this evening under Personnel Support. Under item number 1, resignations, letters A and B. Under item number 2, employment, letters A through D. This concludes the items I have for your consideration this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendations.
So moved.
Seconded.
Are there any questions or comments? Mrs. Lane, will you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mr. Birding?
Yes,
Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
motion passes.